Many college graduates in the United States leave school with student debt, a burden that can have long-term effects on their financial health and future. But that doesn't have to be the case. Today, we're joined by Laurel Taylor, founder and CEO of Candidly, a company helping borrowers to reduce student debt and find financial wellness. Laurel, it's wonderful to have you joining us here in beautiful Davos. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you, Olivia. I'm thrilled to be here.
Now, student debt, it's something that you know all too well. It's a topic close to your heart. Why don't you share your story with us?
I'd love to. So this is my path and purpose because I have very much lived this problem personally. So like 70% of graduates today, I grew up in a household where I knew I was going to college and I knew how I was going to college. And that was through scholarships and grants and, of course, financing education through federal loans, through private student loans. And my mother, who is a highly educated woman, social worker, making $24,000 a year. She took out a Parent Plus loan at 9%, and together we financed my undergrad. And then I went on to grad school. And while I knew I would go to college because that's the way up and out, what I didn't know is that between my mom and I, we would miss out on 2 decades of compounding interest on wealth while paying down debt. And also when the impact is the greatest. The beginning of my career, where I was only paying down debt, where compound interest has its greatest magic, and then for my mom at the end of her career, when she should have been saving for retirement savings, but was paying down debt. And the reality is that we are not unique. My alma mater at MIT and one of our clients today, TIAA, did a study together to evidence that 84% of those individuals who have student debt only pay down their student debt, and until 100% of that debt is paid down, do they save for the future in savings or retirement savings. And so we today exist to crush student debt, enabling hardworking Americans to go beyond debt into savings and retirement savings via simultaneous progress. And that has been further catalyzed by the passage of Secure 2.0, which quite literally, rather than student debt being a blocker into retirement savings, is a booster into retirement savings, as employers are able to offer a retirement match into the retirement savings plan of individuals based on their student loan payments. And what that means is that wealth is no longer just for the wealthy.
Now, speaking of, student debt, how does Candidly really differentiate itself from all the existing federal programs out there trying to alleviate student debt?
When we think about the 43 million Americans who do not have access to Candidly, what we hear when those users show up in our platform, when they speak with a coach, is very consistent, which is that they feel that they are stuck in a system that is analog, offline, and out of date. And the reality is, for technology infrastructure and legacy technology infrastructure, it is incredibly difficult to keep pace with the changes that are occurring at almost a daily basis. The last 4 years has been incredibly complex and confusing, with a moratorium introduced 8 times, with forgiveness introduced as a potential, with new federal income-driven repayment programs taken on and off the shelf, borrowers being put in forbearance and administrative forbearance. And so a quote that really stuck with me was a user who said, "I feel like I'm chasing a ghost and I just want to be told what is real." And that is a reflection of users waiting for hours, sometimes days, just to get a hold of the existing infrastructure responsible for serving that borrower, but leaving that borrower in a fairly dire and desperate situation, which is also no surprise that 50% of borrowers have missed a payment or are not making a payment today, because they actually just don't even know what to do.
As I understand, Candidly is focused on the US market, but student loans are in fact a very global issue. Do you think that the US has a unique set of challenges when it comes to paying off student debt?
Yes. First, we have $1.7 trillion of outstanding student debt, which is the fastest growing liability in our economy, second only to mortgages. We're also in a very dynamic environment. So at Candidly, we are leading the world in the application of AI and hyper-personalized digital experiences that is addressing one of our great nation's most complex financial journeys and most consequential financial outcomes for households across America of all ages and wages. And so we are delivering an AI-enabled student debt and savings optimization platform. And in a matter of minutes, we are enabling the user to save on average $353 a month, which is effectively the equivalent of a 7% raise for those who are making around $60,000 a year.
So imagine I'm a student, I've just left university, and I have a mountain of debt. What are the concrete tools that I should be accessing at Candidly?
Yes. So for the individual who's in their repayment journey, what we see today are three primary needs that users are expressing. Number one is tremendous confusion. With the dynamic environment that I discussed, users really just do not understand what is going on, how to engage, and what programs are available to them based on their unique situation, who they work for, what benefits are being offered, and based on income levels, for example. So guidance. And users exit our experience 77% more confident in managing their student debt with NPS scores above 90. The second major problem that users are looking to solve right now is lowering their monthly payment commensurate with their income. And that is the flow that I discussed of how we enable users to discover, select, and enroll in federal programs they are uniquely eligible for, based on income, based on who they work for. And then finally, which is so exciting due to policy that was passed in 2020 and 2022 between the CARES Act and Secure 2.0, users are showing up on our platform to claim a benefit from their employer in the form of free money. So what that means...
That sounds too good to be true.
It does sound too good to be true. It does. And when I founded the company in 2016, my vision at that time was that major policy levers would be pulled that would enable employers to offer benefits that address student debt as a new normal in the benefit stack, right alongside the 401k plan, right alongside tuition reimbursement. And today that is true. So an employee can claim a match from an employer directing dollars to pay down their debt for past, present, or future education at $5,250 annually, which, by the way, delivers a whopping 67% reduction in turnover for the employer offering that benefit, or they can claim a match from their employer into their retirement savings plan based on student loan payments they're making. So just at the top of our conversation, we talked about compounding interest on wealth versus debt and that simultaneous progress. And through Secure 2.0 and our ability to operationalize the ability for the user to receive that match based on their student loan payment, that is the third and arguably one of the most compelling reasons that users are showing up on our platform, solving problems of paying down their debt, but getting now a match on those payments.
It's great to have an ambitious mission, but let's talk about outcomes. What are some of the tangible results that you're already seeing?
It's all about outcomes. In my Slack channel, my handle is it's all about impact. So today we have delivered $2 billion of impact to the users we have the privilege of serving. Historically, we've always measured impact on days and dollars off of debt. On a go forward, as a result of Secure 2.0, we are also holding ourselves accountable for wealth that we have created in partnership with employers. So what we've seen is really exciting. Secure 2.0 just went live on 1/1/24, and what we're seeing, which we believe will be durable because we have nice scale already in the implementation of the retirement match on student loan payments, is when an employer makes retirement savings relevant and available to employees who are foregoing that because of their student loan payments. We're seeing 13% net new participants come into the plan, which means 13% of a given employer's population would not have participated in one of the number one value props that employer is offering as a benefit. And two, those who are already saving but not maximizing, we're seeing a 27% lift in those fully maximizing. Overall, 95% of the users we serve as a result of Secure 2.0 are maximizing. So we're going from zero in contribution to maximizing. And that is truly transformative, not only today, but at the time of retirement.
Now, going forward, what's on the roadmap for Candidly? How can we really normalize this discussion around student debt?
Thank you for asking that question. We want to move away from shame and guilt, which many families feel around student debt, and recognize that that is where most Americans begin their journey with financial services, is actually indebted. And what we know is that student debt doesn't happen in isolation. Those who have student debt have many other forms of debt around their student debt. Most of the users we serve are carrying credit card interest rates of 30%. They also have auto loans. They're hoping to have a mortgage one day. That's their number one long-term goal, is to buy a home. And so we have been called upon by users and employers alike to help employees sense make and take action to pay down debt across the liabilities side of the balance sheet more broadly. And then in the context of the liabilities that today's modern workers across 5 generations are carrying, think about how they save for the future, save in retirement savings and other forms of wealth accumulation, but recognizing that they have real burdens that they're dealing with on a daily basis. And that's the perfect application of AI. Is the ability to actually, again, be able to deliver a hyper-personalized experience for the user based on their unique situation and in the context of the unique benefits that their employer is offering to them. And so we have the privilege of having this perfect constellation of data from the user, from the employer, from the 401k, 403b record keeper, and sometimes from the payroll company, and helping to make the complex elegant and easy.
It sounds like Candidly is only just getting started, and there's a lot more to come in the next couple of years.
Indeed, yes.
Well, looking forward to that, and thank you so much for joining us here in Davos.
Thank you, Olivia.
Education can be one of the largest investments made in a lifetime. That's why companies like Candidly are crucial in helping millions to pay off student debt and, at the same time, build long-term wealth.